Hello everybody, this is Travis. Welcome to Tpull's Corner, and you're going to witness some deck building straight from the very beginning to see how we do. We're going to start with Standard, and we're going to look for a saga that had me scratching my head for a minute, because it allows both you and your opponent to draw 3. Now these are the new Dominaria enchantment sagas, so you can read ahead, so you can skip that part and go on to section 2 or section 3 of the enchantment saga. But I was thinking they included that for a reason. And there could be reasons to use it in the middle of a regular game, a regular match. But they included it with the Dominaria expansion specifically. So I was thinking, where else can we benefit from us drawing cards and our opponents drawing cards? And I thought of Sheoldred. For some reason, every time I type in to the search bar the first time, it just takes forever. Okay, here we go. Love Song Night and Day. You and target opponent each draw 2 cards. So if we start there, and then we go, and you don't have to do the search bar either. You can do here. We can stick to Dominaria United, 4 cost for black, show all of them, get rid of the saga text, so that we just go straight to the 4 drops, right? It takes, no, is it 4 or 5 for Sheoldred? I could have sworn I had one. Okay, so these are just ways that you can get in. You have to reset. Let's go back and just type in Shield. There we go. Oh, that's what threw me off, is because of the way that it's presented with the glass pane stuff. Let's go ahead and just select that. There should be a way. Hey, select. There we go. All right. So we get Sheoldred in there. Whenever you draw a card, you gain 2 life. Whenever an opponent draws a card, they lose 2 life. So if we can get Sheoldred out and play these enchantment sagas, that would be kind of interesting. We only have 1 copy of Sheoldred. So, hey, I thought I already, there should be a way to select you without crafting you. Let's do it there. Select. There we go. Yeah, these window pane glass type things are interesting, but not for when you're playing a card. Okay, so we have 4 copies of Sheoldred's Restoration. It's a black and white card, so it's black with a white kicker. We can return the creature from our graveyard to the battlefield. So it has the same regular cost without the kicker as Sheoldred. So it would cost us, if we brought it back, if we have the kicker later on, we can gain that much life. So we're going to go ahead and try that. Okay, so next, you notice I'm not touching the land yet. We'll save those for last because the magic algorithm automatically gives you 24, and it will automatically adjust the number depending on what kind of color cards that I put in. So I think we're going to stick with white and black for our colors. So we'll go ahead and select that in the filters, and of course we can have some artifacts as well. But let's go ahead and take a look at what the black and white combined cards are for us that we can use. I think Elasi might be a good one. So let's go ahead and go over here, select that view. We'll take at least one of those. What else do we want? Life gain. I like the idea of life gain. I always love Edgar. And maybe Lias is a possibility. And we're using enchantment sagas. Spirit Sister's Call. Yeah, I only have 1 copy. It's worth putting in there. So I can add those in more later. What I also want to look for is somebody who can, here we go, Illuminator Virtuoso. Most of the decks that are featuring this little guy are featuring a bunch of 1 mana cost things to help him connive. But I want to combine that, partly because I like the double strike. But since I've only got 1 copy of Sheoldred, I want to put in some protective stuff. So I'm looking for hexproof. And we don't really like any of that stuff. We want, maybe we'll have to settle for shield counters. Did we lose all of our hexproof stuff? Let's see, it gains indestructible. Did white lose all of its hexproof stuff with the rotation? I guess they did. That's terrible. Okay, well, let's think about the other stuff we want. We want to be able to have some way to interact, so we're going to take a way to get rid of their planeswalkers. Let's see. I guess what I really want is indestructible. If I can't have hexproof, let's start with black because we have Battle Rage Blessing with Dominaria. Target creature gains Death Touch and indestructible. And do we have anything that has indestructible and life gain? No. So if we want, we can have Valorous Stance, which gives us the choice, gives us some flexibility to destroy target creature with toughness 4 or more, or gain indestructible, and that's kind of cool. Here we go, lifelink and indestructible. And we don't care about having all of these and using all of these, because we're going to connive some of these away. So look at where we are. We've got 55 cards. We've only got 9 creatures, which probably is not enough overall. But we also have only 4 sagas. So let's take a look. We can get some creatures through the sagas. Let me get 1 Era of Enlightenment. Let me get 1 Restoration of Aganjo. And 1 Cruelty of Gix. I like those. That fills out my enchantment saga. Now let's go ahead and look for creatures. And as we look for those, let's look at our mana curve. I don't really have any 1-drops. We're at 2.8. Most of our stuff is 2-drops. I like looking at this view when we get to this point. This shows us all the creatures we have, but this also shows us the 5-drops and the 4-drops. And these really, we want to have at 7, so these are more expensive. So do we want to do a 1-drop creature? We'll do a Hopeful Initiate. And that gives us room for 1 more. And let's go ahead and go big on this last one. So converted mana cost is going to be greater than 5. What are our choices? There we go. Shadow of Mortality. Get a 7/7 and we'll get it cheap because inevitably we're going to be losing life. Yeah? I think that's a good start. Okay, so then we look at our lands. Okay. Now, some of the tips maybe before we do that. We want to build in against flyers. Did we do that? We've got 2 to take out. Those can take out flyers. We've got these that destroy creatures with toughness of 4. That's whether they're flyers or not. If the flyers are going to block, we can do the Death Touch stuff on them. Here we can create the 1/1 white bird creature tokens with flying that'll at least be some chump blockers. And Liesa. Only 1 copy of Liesa. So we might be a little weak if we go up against an all-flyer deck. So that's something to consider when you're building a deck for the first time. You also want to consider building against artifacts and enchantments. So did we do that? And we really didn't. This is really where I tend to go in and go up to 61. Is I want something that we go ahead and destroy enchantment. And we could do Assassin's Ink, but let's just do Sanctify. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. That works for me. So we're at 61. This is what I tend to do. I always tend to... I know we're supposed to keep it tight at 60 if we can, but I always want to tease in just a little, just 1 more card to have fun with. I'm just having fun. I'm just playing around. So let's see. We don't have to worry about a sideboard here like we did in the past rotation. I don't think we need to worry about things like Call Time's gone, so we don't have to worry about using Snowlands or anything like that. So now we go turn our attention to the lands. And we can throw in an Agaggio Seat of the Empire. It's a legendary land. Let's see. Takenuma is another way that we might be able to get Sheoldred back if Sheoldred leaves. We can get a Scarred Barrens to gain a life. And use a Shattered Sanctum and some of the Sunlit Marshes. And do we want to use anything back here? One Fielder Rune. And one Uncharted Haven, sorry. Alright, so that still gives us plenty of basics, but we do have a lot of duplicates. And that's our first test. The only thing I haven't done is name it. Or give it the right picture. We don't care. We had an idea of combining Sheoldred with a particular enchantment saga, and I wanted to fold in some conniving, and that's what we did. That's the theme. Conniving with Sheoldred. There's your deck name. If it's too bad of a mashup, if it doesn't have enough synergy, we might have to trash the deck, or at least maybe throw out the conniving portion with the double striker. And remember, we don't start off with a lot of creatures, but we also didn't do a board wipe. And that's the other thing that you have to consider when you're doing a small number of creatures, is instead of having these individual removals, maybe have board wipes instead. And that's what I usually do, but when I initially make my decks, I try and put them under hardship intentionally the first time. And by that, I mean, I try and see if I can get away without a board wipe. And usually I have to stick one in later. And it might come at the expense of one of these instants. Maybe we have too many instants. Because we have a lot of 2-drop instants to help out our conniver. And to try and protect Sheoldred. Try and protect the few creatures we have. So one of the drawbacks to that, if the ratio is not good enough, is we have a bunch of useless cards and nothing to affect them with. The final thing to consider besides board wipes is card draw advantage. And we might have some card draw with the Enchantment Saga, but is that enough? Because remember, our opponent gets to draw stuff too. We have one chance to use cost a 3 life to search for a specific card in the deck. For the second one there. Alright, do they have removal? Let's use the Purifier as our canary in the coal mine. We've got black. Looks like a 5-color deck. Are we going to face Jonah in a minute? You notice they've already got an artifact. We only have one card in here that deals with artifacts. Okay, that's going to come back as a 3/3. We don't have anything in the graveyard yet. In the turn, spend 2 to draw a card. Exile graveyard, so it doesn't matter, and we have protection to make it indestructible right now. A defender, okay. Do we want to play this? We probably do at this stage, unless we get a different land card next. They're spending a lot of time thinking They've got an artifact and enchantment already, so they could sacrifice that now and draw 2 cards. He's gaining haste. He's a 4/4. Goodbye. Alright, we've got a different land. We'll go ahead and use some mana to bring that out. Get him again in the turn. This is risky. We're going for the card draw, but now we can't protect them. He's got summoning sickness, but you can put him on for haste. Did not attack. All right. We're on defense because I want to use Death Touch against this Vessel of the All-Consuming. If he manages to do 10 points of damage to me, it doesn't matter. He'll win the game. It's an alternate win condition card. Did not attack. Probably should have dropped this card for defense. For protection. Alright, let him through. We are on defense. It has to be the vessel itself that does 10 or more damage, so the other damage from these doesn't count. Gonna make that guy indestructible. Cute. Put him up to 9. Indestructible and lifelink. And get rid of this, I guess. Okay. Search our library for a card. Fateful Absence. Get rid of the one that makes you indestructible. No attacks. So I'm out of mana and I can't protect anything. If he attacks now, I'm going to have to block with everybody. I'll lose Liesa. But these two will be brought back up into my hand at least. If he has a way to remove Liesa, do that first. I don't have any creature in the grave, do I? He's doing it. What stuff has he been throwing away? Walking skyscraper? Yuck. Can nearly cast one of those already. Thinking hard about what card he can live without. We still have to use everybody, but even if he goes up to 10 and connives, we've got a double striker here. So, we're all in. Yep, kill the Essa for sure. He really kills all three of them, doesn't he? Whew! We survived his little tactic there. Hopefully he doesn't have another one of those handy. Waiting for the end of the turn for Liesa's 2 items to take effect. And now, the cruelty of Gix. We could bring back anybody, including from his. I like my Liesa though. Done. He already tried an indestructible trick here with Coyote. What other tricks do you have? I don't have any counters on mine, so I don't expect him to use Hallowed Respite. He could use it on his legendary creature. Oh, draw card advantage, huh? He does have another one handy. Okay. He hasn't been paying attention to my deck, has he? Pass to blockers. Death Touch and Indestructible. And regain life. Okay, next. What do we want to do? Scry 2. don't need more than one of those right now. Decline. In case you have removal, we want to use indestructible. Okay, there goes my graveyard, but I didn't have any creatures in there yet, which is what we cared about. In the meantime, he exiled his own Greasefang. Oh, the 5 colors, there goes the common white. Okay. Finally got rid of the flyer. Discard a card, comes in for free, gain 2 life, we attack with what we got. Death Touch and Indestructible, do your thing. Death Touch and Indestructible with First Strike, thank you very much. Draw some more cards, don't mind if I do. Another Indestructible. What do we want to discard? We don't have Sheoldred yet, so the Enchantment Saga is disposable. Another Vessel of the All-Consuming. Don't you ever get tired of that? It's only your second one, really. Gonna hit me for 5 or use it for defense? A second? Sheesh. Don't you have enough stuff here? I'm missing my board wipes now. All right. Death Touch and Indestructible. Draw a card. Ah, destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater. Look at that. Not gains indestructible. Destroy target creature. Top deck didn't help him. Notice this wasn't an easy out, and we're not done yet. But he had some nice, powerful, multicolored cards, and he didn't have any problem with his mana the entire time, did he? Rare card, mythic rare card. Oh look, another mythic rare. Except to use everything there. So I think we got him, because he doesn't have lifelink. And I can use this on my Virtuoso. Either one of them. Really? That was a mistake. Maybe he thought he was dead no matter what. Alright, good first outing. Good first outing. Alright, there's got to be more testing to do. I'm not sure this is going to be the final build. But we want to look at it one more time. We want to consider, do we have enough to deal with artifacts and enchantments? We've only got one spell in here that really does interaction with that. And if we come up against like an all enchantment spell or all enchantment deck, that could be a big problem. The card draw worked really well. We had Markov Purifier that we were able to use with the extra mana to draw. And card draw really helps. Card draw advantage really helps. Our creature protections worked well. Is little surprise tactics. We got them surprised at least once with that. Our removal came up when we needed it to. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with the first outing. Not sure if we need 4 copies of Sheoldred's Restoration. Sheoldred, our 1 copy, didn't even come up yet. And only one of those 4, so out of our theme didn't show up much. But our other part of the mashup theme, the Virtuoso, did show up a couple times, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, if I had to ditch anything, maybe Sheoldred's Restoration, a copy or 2 of that would go, and I would put in something else like maybe 1 board wipe, and maybe 1 more thing to deal with artifacts and enchantments, just to increase our odds of getting that answer when we need it. So I might drag this deck out again and show you guys how much it's changed. But for now, let's go ahead and put that for the picture. Hang on. I have to do it this way. Love song. Because how often is that going to be the cover for your deck? So we'll do that, and maybe we'll actually play the card instead of just throwing it away as a connive throwaway. Alright, what else would you do with this deck? Let me know what you think of the deck building tips. Let me know if you have any other questions on the first time you're building a deck and what to test for and stuff like that. This is Travis at Tpull's Corner. We'll say goodnight for now. Have a good one. Thanks.